What are you going to be working on today?
I'll be working on a 2014 Dodge Challenger SXT 3.6 VVT, one of the most hated engines ever made.
And what are you going to do?
I am going to be replacing the thermostat, and that'll include the housing. Thermostat comes included. Sometimes they don't if you go to piece of shit places like AutoZone. So, here it comes with a bleeder valve, but you still have to bleed it the old-fashioned way through the top of the reservoir. So this is the engine, 3.6 VVT, stands for variable valve transmission. People hate this engine because it's all plastic. What can you do? If you look down here, there's a thermostat housing right there. Here's the bleeder valve. Tapping it with my finger. We will have to remove the air inlet tube disconnected here from the throttle body. There is a sensor back here with the pigtail. I have to remove that as well. You cannot do this if it's hot. It has to be cooled down, or otherwise you're gonna have a nice little burn. This is a 3.6 VVT. VVT stands for variable valve transmission. And Mopar, shockingly, made the 6 cylinders and the 4 cylinders into modular engines. They're stuck in the 70s with their 8 cylinders with being push rods only. But this is a DOHC, which stands for dual overhead cam. So you have 2 cams per head. 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side. Okay, so I forgot to record me taking off some of these things, but I remembered. So this has to be done on a cool engine. It can't be hot. You're gonna spray yourself and hurt yourself. So I opened this, let out all the pressure, and then with either a flathead screwdriver or an 8mm, you can remove these to loosen it up and take things apart. I just loosened this one up here to remove from the throttle body, which is over here. And here's the pigtail that goes to the sensor. You also got to make sure you disconnect that thing. Otherwise you're gonna have a lot of fun. So now I have full access to the old thermostat, which is right here. This is the bleeder valve. And it's got either a Torx screw or a 10mm top and bottom. So with handy pliers, I got these ones. First thing, I'm gonna go ahead and pinch this, removing this hose from the housing. You're gonna have a little bit of antifreeze coming down. It's gonna be okay. Move that up a little bit. There. So we got to be a little careful here. Scoot back a little bit. Little mechanic 101, Mexican style. Okay, so now that that's gone, it was just a quick little spray. And now, I'm gonna break these loose. That was real easy. That's because I did it earlier.
So why is there still liquid coming out?
Because there's still coolant in the block.
Oh, okay.
Now if I can see, there we go. That's nice and warm. Out with the old and in with the new. Mechanic advice, always try to compare the two, make sure they're identically the same. I already installed a gasket on there.
The old one?
Old, new. Hell yeah. You always got to make sure the surface is clean. Usually a rag will get it done. Rarely you'll have to use a razor just to kind of clean everything up. Should be good. This is a new one, right? Yeah. All right, here we go. Totally wicked, dude. All right. Always do it by hand until you can't no more. That avoids cross-threading, breaking, any form of destroying the threads, especially when they're aluminum and polyurethane, some form of plastic with these newer modern vehicles. Take your time with things. It's always better to have things done the right way. It smells yummy. Okay. Now we can use our handy dandy tool. So this is plastic. You don't want to tighten it insanely. You end up breaking this and then you're screwed having leaks. I believe it's only 15 or 18 foot-pounds if you're going to use a torque wrench. Mechanic terms, that means decently snug. Right, now let's attach this quickly before somebody calls the police. Oh boy.
So that was it? You just thermostat's in already?
Thermostat's in. I just got to put this clamp back in place. Bleed it from here as I add coolant in the reservoir. And then I'm gonna clean up where the antifreeze hit too, because there is oil on there. I use like brake cleaner or something like that, or whatever, to kind of remove that. And then I'm gonna add my spill-proof funnel up here to bleed anything else I missed. Come on, man. I always try to put these things on as they were to begin with. It'll help seal. There we go. Let's be sicker than a monkey when it's done. Not bad. So now we'll open the bleeder valve. You don't got to take it out or nothing, just open it enough so there's gonna be some airflow. And let me get some antifreeze. So now the thermostat is open, the bleeder valve is open, thermostat is installed, excuse me. Mexican, sometimes my accent kicks in. I'm gonna install my spill-proof funnel so I can get this thing bled. So as I add this, you're going to be hearing air coming out through, of course, that little bleeder valve over there. And there it is. All the little gurgling bubbles, that's the coolant pushing out the air. And I need to add more. Go ahead and close this for now.
So why is it bubbling?
Fluid going down, air coming up. There's a little battle going on in there. Okay, now just a little more. There we go. Alright, here we go. You can see bubbles coming out. That's air coming out. And then once you have a steady little stream coming out, you should be good. Like that. Of course, you know, the real mechanic will not stop there because they think that all the air has been purged out. You still got to turn it on, turn the heater up all the way, and go from there. Another thing is, don't over tighten this. It's plastic. You really don't want to break that. Okay, now that it's bled, I've sprayed solvent to clean up all the residual antifreeze, whatever you want to call it. Let's go ahead and install this back on the throttle body here. So always forget that little sensor we took out earlier. There's that little pop. Just be right there. Get my handy dandy screwdriver here. It can be a screwdriver like this or 8mm. It's up to you. Personally, I think 8mm works better, but this was here, so I used it. So once all that's done, ignite the engine, turn the heater up as hot as it goes, as much air blowing, and let it run until it's at full operating temperature. Any air left in there is going to come out through here. Let it run like that. It'll bubble, but I don't have it up to a certain level just so it doesn't overflow.
Okay.
But the air will be coming out. Especially when it gets at full temperature, the thermostat's going to open. It's going to start going into the heater core. Kind of a big cycle. So now we're just playing the waiting game, letting it go to full operating temperature. Oh, we're back. So, I'm going to change this out. Put this one back. It's already at full operating temperature, blowing massive heat, cycling beautifully. Thanks for watching my channel. We'll see you next time.